I still remember the night I heard that David Bowie passed away. It was very, very shocking. I immediately called my ex-bandmates and we talked forever. And the thing that we got from that conversation, at least that I did, was I really want to do something about it. So the first thing I said to these guys were, I'm going to put on a show, a large show, something that I would be proud if David Bowie was in the audience. So that's always been the point of reference for me when I built the show, or if it's moved to Philly. It started in Delaware at the World Cafe Live at the Queen. It was a sellout show. I put a lot into it. It was very creative. And all the time that we spent lamenting about the loss of David Bowie, I refueled myself and looked at the positive and remember that he was an amazing musician and his music will live on forever. So it was about building an experience around all of his songs, all of his visuals, all of his videos. And it was something that was really, really successful. And I'm still proud to this day in its 9th year coming up, where I still feel relevant and I still feel like it's something that needs to be done. So when we talk about the loss of a guy like David Bowie and what that means to me, I look at Bowie as somebody who not only did interesting music, his music was cool. It was very innovative. Still to this day, if you see Ziggy Stardust in a video or in print, it's still insanely outlandish. It's still relevant. It still looks, it's like it's pushing the barriers. Even today, there's no one in my eyes that's even come close to doing the things creatively that he's done. That's not even counting all the fashion, all the acting, all the the art stuff that he's done. It's just unbelievable. And he is literally probably the most important rock and roll guy from England that has paved the way for so many artists. And the way he's pulled from different genres and held that up on his shoulders, to me, was something that will never be reproduced. And almost every single person that's either a performance artist or has presence on stage as a frontman or leading a band, David Bowie is the guy that I think will always get the applause for almost everyone that does rock and roll. The reason I think the Night of Stardust is different and powerful is the fact that I pull in 5 vocalists every year that are from 5 different walks of life. So I really build them into profiles. It's really about having a rock and roll or someone that's in R&B or country, something that was really spreading the wealth there. Because I think David Bowie's music catalog is so vast that I think he would even appreciate the idea that we're getting people that are huge fans of his, but we're not producing lookalikes. We're not having people with lightning bolts on the face. There's a time and place for those kinds of things, but creatively, this is something that I think as the closing finale show of Philly Loves Bowie Week, there's a lot of rules that I set up that I think we need to succeed and be the best that we can. And I'm very proud of that because not only have we churned out 9 incredible shows, but we've had a lot of Bowie ex-band members perform at the show too. Earl Slick, Mark Platty, Ava Cherry, M. Greiner. They have all put trust in me to put their brand on the line and their name to come to perform at the show with our band. That says a lot, and I'm always happy to put that out there. When people come up to me and ask me who do I think the best is, and I tell them it's David Bowie, I always come back at them with facts, because I think that's what it's really about. And I look at the first thing in my mind that makes for someone that has the nerve to do interesting things is someone that doesn't give a damn about things. And David Bowie was actually that guy. So he does, if you remember, he does, he builds characters. He did Ziggy Stardust, and at the height of Ziggy Stardust, at the end when he does Rock and Roll Suicide, what does he tell everybody? It's the last time we'll ever do a show. So what he meant was he was going to dissolve Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, and he did exactly that. And again, a lot of people look at that as diva-like, or he ruined their careers because of guys like, Mick Ronson was so incredibly good, and Woody Woodmansey. These guys were amazing, amazing guys, and it really probably wasn't the best thing for them. But who has the nerve when you're selling loads of records to stop what you're doing, throw it all away, start from scratch? But the important thing is, Bowie let go of 3 big members, key members of the Spiders from Mars that were writing the songs with him. So he lets them go, and he's known as just David Bowie by himself. The one thing I've always said, and I'm a huge Zeppelin fan, I'm a huge, Beatles fan, this kind of stuff. But when you look at guys that are the stalwarts of rock and roll history, it's always a pair of guys. It's always McCartney and Lennon. It's always Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. David Bowie is not just in eye level of all those guys, but he's by himself. There is no part two. There is no sidekick. There's no Robin to Batman. It's just him. And everybody knows that he runs every step of his career. And I would love to put a guy like Mick Jagger up against someone like that to see what he does when he doesn't have that Robin to bounce ideas off of. And that to me is the litmus test to say that Bowie's career is full of fearlessness, and that's where I would want to be if I was in his shoes. So the other thing that I really love about Bowie's career is his musicians that he's had since day one up until his passing. He always had incredible musicians, guys that are just learned in textbook music. They weren't great stage guys, but they fit a role because his intellectual skills of writing music was always off kilter. And it wasn't off kilter in the sense he was doing it to be strange, but any true musician will tell you it's not easy to reproduce a lot of Bowie songs, which puts a lot of pressure on me and my team, but that's really what makes it exciting, because it's not just a bunch of, it's not just a bunch of power chords or, 8-bar blues, 16-bar blues. It's always something very, very interesting. So why Philadelphia? So I do want to cover a couple incredibly important facts about David Bowie and the city of Philadelphia. And I've become a kind of an acquaintance and a buddy of Mr. Earl Slick, who was Bowie's guitar player for a long, long time. And he was also did John Lennon's 2 solo records. So Earl has an amazing list of a resume. But Bowie loved Philadelphia. There's a lot of things that he did. So he records the Young Americans record there at Sigma Sound Studios. That's a huge record. It has Fame on it, Young Americans, a couple other really, really amazing songs. He chose Philadelphia because of that R&B flavor that he wanted to have. The plastic soul concept was so strong in his mind that New York wasn't a possibility, but he ended up in Philly with what they were doing there. So that was very, very important. He also records David live at the Tower Theater. And now that is an important part, because it's some amazing songs. That's an amazing concert, amazing record. And then, of course, he films the Modern Love video at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We all love the Spectrum. God rest its soul. But a lot of the band members from Bowie's time always said that Philadelphia and Ohio were the 2 big places that he would start tours at. And that was really, really important to his career, because any musician knows that it's really about the fans, that it really truly matters. Is if you have the fan base there, you always go to take care of them first. He always respected Philadelphia, and that's why we built Philly Loves Bowie, and that's why it's the place to be in the month of January. So this Saturday, the 11th, is the show. A Night of Stardust is coming to the TLA in Philadelphia. It's going to be the finale concert of Philly Loves Bowie Week. Get tickets now and celebrate the Starman at tlaphilly.com. We'll put the link in the description. I hope you can join us to celebrate the Starman and the week of Philly Loves Bowie. I hope to see you there.